The book was only one part, which I got. It was like the only book I got after the movies. All the other ones I had read before the movies, but I honestly haven't read them in a long time since I've rewatched these movies. But the Deathly Hollows one I got like a year or two ago, and I actually never finished it. And I really don't remember much about it. But it's one of the more depressing movies with some very brief sexual scenes, which I looked it up, and Harry and them aren't going to be 18 until like the very end of the last movie after he beats Voldemort. But it's like very brief, it's really not that much, and I don't think it over sexualizes them, unlike a lot of horror movies do, where they have like grown people playing high schoolers, so they think it's an excuse for them to have full blown sex in the movie, even though they're, playing minors. In this, it's just like a very brief scene of Harry and Hermione, completely nude, but you don't really see anything, like, at all. And then, a scene where everyone gets, like, undressed and, they all turn into Harry in the beginning of the movie. They also love killing characters off screen in this movie. Mad-Eye Moody shows up. He looks like he's gonna be a bit of a badass. He teams up with like the dumbest person in the group because he wants to keep an eye on him. He teleports away, leaving Mad Eye behind, and Voldemort killed him or somebody, one of the Death Eaters. Then we're only told about that by the oldest brother out of the Weasleys that, it never really mattered throughout the series. He helped with the dragon eggs in in like the fourth movie. I think that was about it. They actually have another brother. I think it's Bill and Percy. And Percy was like a prefect who had a decently large role in the books. That's one of the rare things I remember for some reason. He's always snitching on kids, even Harry and Ron and Hermione, if they were, out of bed at certain times, restricted areas, whatever. But he's not really in the movies. I think he had like one or two scenes actually in some of the maybe the first or second movie, but he's not really there. Anyways, we also have the Minister of Magic, like the big dude. I always thought it was Cornelius Fudge was the big dude, the main dude. But apparently it's this guy, and he gives Dumbledore's things to Harry after they're supposedly in a safe place, yet the Ministry of Magic, who supposedly doesn't know where Harry is, found Harry pretty easily. Don't know why the Death Eaters couldn't when he could. They didn't find Harry until the wedding, which is dumb to have a wedding during something as serious as this. They kind of pointed out, but not enough, about how dumb it is. Harry is still dating Ginny, surprisingly enough. He kisses her in one scene and then we never see her again. Definitely, J.K. Rowling's favorite thing to do is have characters you kiss and then we never see them again for the rest of that movie or book. Probably in the book, they would have a little bit more time, since the books are pretty long. Dean Thomas might have died. They say he's missing in this movie. He's one of the only characters that I recognize when they're talking about people on the radio that have gone missing. They give the Dursleys a send-off in this movie when they weren't in the previous movie at all, because Harry wasn't even at home this time during the beginning of the movie. He was at some random cafe talking to this random muggle with a wizard newspaper. Very smart of Harry. But anyways, that's how they started the other one. There was no Dudleys or anything. There's quite a few deleted scenes in this movie that I watched on the DVD because I watched this one on DVD, which I remembered some of them. We get a few lines from Harry's stepmom. Aunt Petunia was kind of his stepmom. About how she lost a sister. He didn't just lose a mother. Then, there's a deleted scene where Dudley is nice to Harry and his final goodbye, which was a really cool scene, but they cut it, and the scene it was replaced with was just like, it's dangerous, we gotta go. And then they leave and we get a brief shot of the girl, Aunt Petunia. They just show her in the car for like a second, because I guess they already had her on set and they cut her important scene and they still wanted to have her somewhat in the movie. You don't even see her in the car besides that weird shot. They do some stuff with Hermione's parents in this movie. She erases her memories in the beginning of the movie in a kind of goofy, sad scene, because a bunch of pictures that are only of her disappear. So they just have pictures framed of nothing. It's funny. Don't know why they would have added that. That kind of ruins the moment. Like, they're gonna be like, why the hell did we frame this picture of a couch? It's dumb. Ron and Harry are assholes throughout the movie, you know. Not too much different. They've been assholes to each other. Like friends sometimes. Occasionally too. Friends are gonna fight. I've had plenty of fights with my friends. But in this movie they have fights because they wear a Horcrux or whatever. And it makes them evil. Supposedly Hermione was wearing it, but she was never mean throughout the movie. It's mentioned in one line that she was wearing it. Ron's like, the Horcrux affects me way more than it does you and Hermione. Like, wait, Hermione was wearing it? When she wasn't rude throughout the entire movie. Not even a little bit. She got mad at Ron for leaving. She wasn't wearing the Horcrux. She was just mad. But apparently she was wearing it. She's just too smart to get angry, I guess. And supposedly they wanted to like keep it safe, and that's why they were wearing it, even though Hermione has this own special bag that he could have put it in. He's just like, oh, we have to wear it around our neck. That'll keep it safe. Like, how does that keep it safe? Sure, it's close, but if they get snatched up, it's going to be right in the open, and they'll just take the Horcrux and hide it again. Putting it in the bag, or in your pocket, or anywhere but your neck right in the open would have been a smarter option. Get introduced to like this cool animation scene with Luna Lovegood's dad. It's a very cool animation. It was really the only thing I remembered about this movie, besides how scary it was when I first watched this movie when I was a kid. When Ron gets his like arm fucked up, like that thing fucked me up when I was a kid. But here it wasn't really that bad because I watch a lot of horror movies now. But I never really understood that, supposedly because like she teleported again when some guy grabbed her. That's what, fucked up his arm. Teleporting again. It's a very weird thing. I also bring up this weird rule that has never been mentioned in the movie, where Bellatrix is trying to figure out why Harry looks different. His face is fucked up. So she takes Hermione's wand and she's like, let's check your last spell. Like she's checking fucking Google history. It's weird. Peter Pettigrew is somewhat here. He had like one scene in the previous movie and he like said nothing. And in 5, he wasn't even in it. It's probably because they didn't want to use him too much because of the whole CGI silver hand thing. So he doesn't have that big of a role. Voldemort gets the fucking Elder Wand, which, like 20 minutes before, they basically tell us that he's gonna get it. Like, Harry has this vision of him killing this dude that owns wands or something, and then the movie ends with him getting the Elder Wand, like it's supposed to be some big deal. I've never understood that. Yes, I guess a wand can be more powerful than another wand, but why? In the Ministry of Magic, I think I forgot to mention it, he shows up, gives them Dumbledore's stuff from the will, which for some reason he didn't do at the end of the last movie. Has to be done in this movie to pad in the runtime, I guess. And then he like dies right after off screen. I think Kingsley Shacklebolt died too, since he tried to warn them that the Minister of Magic was dead and he works there. And we never see him again in the movie. But we don't see a lot of characters again after the wedding, so. Dobby dies in this movie. Like, yeah, he sacrificed himself, sad, I guess, but I don't know. I never really cared for Dobby. He was in like one movie, then he appears in the movie where everybody's dying and he dies. It's not too surprising. But yeah, I guess that's about it. It's a pretty decent movie. But from what I remember, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like the part 2 better.